Welcome everyone to the very first episode of Data AI Stockholm community series. Today we have with us Aurélien, who is a community member for Data AI Stockholm, and he will talk more about his background and how he started his journey with Onefin. Hello Aurélien, welcome and thank you so much for coming today. Why don't we start by asking you more about you? Tell us more about your background.
Thanks, Vanessa. Thanks for having me. So I'm Aurélien. I'm a co-founder of PromptStudio. It's a startup in the AI and data space here in Stockholm. And since about a month and a half, I'm also AI engineer at Onefin. So I started my journey in AI about 7 years ago. I worked at a Center for Applied Mathematics in Gothenburg called Fraunhofer Chalmers. There I was building tooling for machine learning researchers. So that was everything from infrastructure to visualizations, everything related to sharing the results of their machine learning models with their clients. And then at Klarna, several years ago when ChatGPT came out, there was a lot of internal shift towards using language models for internal processes. There I worked on several projects internally. And from there, inspiration came to build PromptStudio, a way to build reliably with language models.
Tell us more about PromptStudio. We'd really love to hear. What does PromptStudio do?
So the original idea for PromptStudio was kind of a prompt management, prompt engineering platform. And I think since then, there's been a lot of improvements to the language models and the foundational APIs that the language model provides. So OpenAI and so on, they've incorporated a lot of features themselves. So the need for prompt management and so on has kind of shifted to a different space. So we had to pivot, and we eventually pivoted into data analysis and how can we use language models to generate code like SQL and so on, or visualization, to help you better understand your data, to help more people interact with their data.
Amazing, pretty cool. You also mentioned about that you are working at Onefin, right?
Yes.
Tell us more about Onefin. You're working there as a data AI engineer, you mentioned.
Yes.
Tell us more about it.
So Onefin is a SaaS treasury management platform for real estate groups. And what essentially what it provides is a way for financial teams to have one place to manage all their assets, their contracts, their debts, and so on, so that they can make informed decisions by doing liquidity planning, essentially. And what I do there specifically is, you can imagine, if we're talking about this kind of financial data, we have a lot of contracts with banks and to manage. So there's a lot of PDFs flying around, or Excel sheets and tables. So I've been building a platform to do document processing, essentially, starting from raw PDF, doing OCR, data extraction, and so on. We call this platform Docufin, and we're planning to open source it sometime next year.
Wow, so open source as well.
Yes.
How so? How did you thought about, because I'm thinking about financial data as can also be a bit sensitive. I don't know if do you think it's a risk, or why did you decide to go open source?
So I was actually not planning to build this kind of platform myself. I was looking for something that was ready to use out of the box. Sadly, there was nothing that kind of checked all of the boxes I needed, and there was nothing open source out there for us to use, because we didn't want to have a third-party product kind of where we would have to share our customer data with. So I had to build it myself, and I think there will probably be other companies in the same situation where you want a full-fledged data processing platform, but nothing out there can be fully self-host on your hardware and be also customizable to your needs. So that's why we went open source, like making sure you don't have to share your data with external parties,
That's part,
which is kind of tricky in like regulated environments, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly. I was thinking, like, and like, I mean, you are building this yourself, so I guess it's, I mean, but it's pretty cool. But I guess you also have faced a lot of challenges. Is it possible that you share with us some of your challenges?
Yeah, for sure. So one challenge that you need to be mindful of, OCR has become really good over the past years. So that's maybe less of a challenge, but staying on top of, okay, what language model or OCR model performs best for your use case, being able to compare results quickly, that's tricky. So that's one thing we want to solve with the platform. And then that last mile problem where you might be getting 99% accuracy on the data you're extracting, but then what happens with the other 1%? Like you need some kind of human in the loop system. And then again, you can build something internally yourself, or maybe there's a better way to do that. So that's what we're trying to
solve.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's actually really nice, I have to say. Very cool. I would like to hear like more. I would like to see more about even the product. Is it possible that you navigate us through the product and its features? Would love to see that.
Yeah, so you would, and this is maybe something that's a bit different from other platforms. It's really tailored towards engineers. So it's not kind of forcing you to have a specific set of blocks that you connect to each other, like many other tools. You can write your own pipelines yourself, and we provide an SDK that makes it easier, but that doesn't set constraints to how you would work with it. Then you integrate your product via an API to the platform, upload your files, it processes everything, and you can run evaluations and other things with the platform as well.
Very cool. Really nice. I mean, thank you so much for sharing things. It's always nice to hear, like, even especially since a startup, like, ideas that are building right now, and just it's fascinating. Even the challenges that you're facing and you're trying to solve. Pretty cool, I have to say. Is there anything else that you would like to share about Onefin?
Right. Yeah, we are hiring. So
nice.
If you're interested, just let us know.
Yeah, I'm sure that a lot of people listening or watching us right now are interested. We have a great community of data engineers, AI engineers at Data AI Stockholm. So I'm pretty sure that it will apply. We will put the link and the contact information for Aurélien at our comments below. So feel free to reach out to him. Thank you for sharing this, Aurélien. So yeah, I wanted to also actually ask you about Data AI Stockholm, because you have been actually the very first person, or one of the very first people join us as in Data AI Stockholm. We had the very first event in March 2025, and you were there, and you have been to all of our events, almost like joining us and being there. So I'm pretty thankful and so happy to have met you. And I just would like to hear more. How did you find it in AI Stockholm, and maybe share your perspective about our community, and how do you feel about it?
Yeah, so I think the way I found it, I just Googled Data and AI in Stockholm. I was actually looking for a meetup in that space, and I think the name just nails it, right? And then I went to the first event and met some really cool people. I think there's some super talented people there, and had some great conversations at those events. So yeah, thank you for organizing this. It's been really great to be able to be part of it. And then I think what was super valuable for me also is just breaking out of the bubble of things that I know and that I'm familiar with, like especially when it comes to data, and especially AI as well, where things are moving so quickly. Having the opportunity to exchange notes with people and see how other people are solving similar problems, it's been super valuable.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like, as you also say, especially I mean, you are stuck in your bubble and you work in specific tools, specific programs, and then you realize like there are so many out there, and it's not easy to follow, and especially in this world that everything is moving so fast, you can easily lose track of things. So being in part of this community, you get to know other people working on different tools and having other solutions, other type of architectures, and you actually kind of like merge all this information together, and you grow yourself, but you also help each other to tackle challenges and just, grow together in this space, which is really nice to see, honestly. Okay, thank you so much for sharing your perspective about and your experience with Data AI Stockholm. It's really valuable and really makes us happy hearing that you actually find value in this community. But before I want to close our discussion here, I would also like to ask you one last question, which might not be some, I don't know, maybe it's so tech related, but more maybe philosophically directed. But I would like to hear more your point of view. What do you think is responsible AI?
Yeah, so I think when we talk about responsible AI, there's a lot of different aspects to it. For me personally, there's like two aspects that I think are super important that are maybe not always thought of first. The first one is data privacy, which is something that's really tricky when it comes to language models and chatbot solutions and so on, because they're designed to make you feel like you're in a conversation with something, and it's easy to forget that behind that you have actually a corporation with a database tracking everything that you're saying, which is kind of tricky. Like once we're talking about conversation about medical topics, for example, or something like that. So bringing the data closer to the people rather than having such sensitive data stored by corporations, I think that's part of responsible AI. And then as a software engineer, I think using AI to generate code, I think an important aspect of being responsible with it is also keeping things under control when it comes to like security as well, because it's easy to introduce issues or security vulnerabilities if you don't keep track of what the AI is doing. So
yeah. I mean, I couldn't agree more with what you're saying, and I guess it's also who you ask. I mean, there are so many perspectives on that point of view, but we definitely should also consider this. I mean, AI is growing so fast, we cannot really keep track on it, and it would be nice so we are all aware about its risk and try to understand how we can use it responsibly as well. Even if it's sometimes really cool to use some tools, maybe we should also reconsider how and what. So it's really nice to hear that you also feel like there are ways that, and there are aspects that you actually should consider. Okay, I mean, thank you so much for your time. It was so nice speaking with you and like getting to know you better, and especially, I guess, even the community to get to know Aurélien better. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching or listening to our podcast or like our video. I'm really happy that you are here, and I'm really looking forward for the upcoming community series with Data AI Stockholm. Thank you again so much, and bye.
Thanks.